What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 20 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Orion Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Durthu has completed the ritual of the Haunted Forest, or at the very least defeated the armies that were spawned by it. It says the Ritual of Rebirth has been completed, but I think it just means that it's been activated. Until those 2 turns are up, we still won't be able to build that Noblar outpost, and we certainly do want it because of that hero capacity +1. There's a few other stuff in here that is potentially nice. The trade tariffs, the Ogre Kingdoms, the income. It's not a bad place. I still am surprised that the Haunted Forest was the first ritual that we got completed, but nonetheless we got 2 more very much underway. In terms of what we got to do this time around, I guess it's a new turn, and we're going to start with moving Orion. Uzul Woemaker has apparently left Conquata effectively undefended, so I guess we get to freely destroy it. And freely destroyed we shall. Yeah, we're not going to bother fighting. This is obviously a waste of our time, certainly a waste of Orion's time. Auto resolve. Not a bad amount of cash. And, ooh, 16k. Alright, you know what? We're going to raise it, but we're still going to see Chaos Breaker, good. Forest Spirit, good. Another Trickster Shard. More Trickster Shards. I won't say no to that. Wait. Elder Scout, plus 5% campaign movement range. Wait, how did we get that? No. I need to know how we got that. Where's Elder Scout? Mount gain, follower gain. No. What about this? Elder Scout, here it is, ranked up above rank 20. You'd think that we would have gotten more of these over the course of the campaign, and yet I think that was the first one. Anyway, it will actually cost us less to recolonize it. We still got like, what, 9k out of it or something like that, so we will recolonize Conquata, and we'll see if it's a super outpost. It is a super outpost. Income from all buildings plus 10% all regions faction-wide. Alright. Well, that was worth our time, and it was certainly, and will certainly help us. Anyway, I wanted to double check. And we got 2 more other Trickster Shards now. We'll certainly, I already gave 1 to Draika. I guess we're going to spread them around a little bit. I like it. Well done, Orion. Keep working on... Oh, wow, he has more territories. 3 more territories, in fact. I take it that's the other one here. Doomkeep. All right, we're going to have to move through NORSCA a little bit to make sure that Be'lakor is out, but I think Ellen Delling should be able to deal with that for us. Anyway, that's Orion. Wait, I forget. Ellen Delling, are you able to move this turn? Indeed you are. So you will jump to Longship Graveyard. What's the likelihood that Deloric gets intercepted? I don't think Ellen Delling would, but... All right, you know what? Ellen Delling, go here by yourself. You, by yourself, even if you do get intercepted, the enemy won't fight. What we'll do is we'll move Delurican afterwards, because once... Marauder Hunters, I mean, even if they do get intercepted, they'll lose, so you know what? Just move anyway. Move anyway. Go here. And you didn't get intercepted. We'll take out Longship Graveyard, and that will be the last settlement of the scaling, so we won't have to worry about them. Durthu. 2 options for you. We head down to Orion's camp, but I suppose we could get another army to do it. I'm kind of inclined to have you destroy Kugath for good. I really don't want him around here, because if he gets a strong enough stack, he might threaten the Haunted Forest. He's too close to us. Plus, even if we can't make as much good use of the Dragon Isles as pretty much any other faction, we can still make some use of it. So go to Shatterstone Bay, and I'm sure you'll find yourself a nice fight here and there against the Fecundites. The forest here has been awakened, making it a treacherous place to any enemy of the Wood Elves. What forest has been awakened here? Oh, it's because of the Heathland, isn't it? Interesting. Well, either way. Too bad, so sad for Kugath. I wonder where he is, though. He's probably out here somewhere. Anyway, who's up next? Nath, you don't have to move, although I already did move you. Between the episodes, as promised, I did a little bit of the old admin, and namely, that involved moving a lot of stuff around. Now, Akka the Wandering Wield has been reset in terms of his skills because they weren't right since we confederated him, but this is his nearly complete army. He's at 18 out of 20. We're still going to put 2 more tree men in his army, or maybe 2 Sisters of the Thorn. I haven't completely decided yet, but yeah. Once again, I think the Blade Singers earned their place in his army, so they are going to stay, but he got 4 War Lions, some Great Forest Eagles, some Zoats to both act as support and be beastly with the rest of his forces, and a few of those Treekin. Kazaka deserves a War Grove of his own. Findal, you are holding on to units, and... I mean, I could continue recruiting with you if we wanted to do so. Let's get a couple more War Dancers with Azrae Spears. I kind of want to send this army out to sea, both to attack random jerks and to acquire some nice islands. War Dancers with Treekin. Oh, actually, what we could also do is transfer these Treekin to Durthu without this. You know what? I like that idea as well. Nath, I would like you to at least temporarily grab those Treekin. Should have done this between the episodes, but I only thought of it now, so yeah. I like so. And go all the way to the Haunted Forest. I like so. And for the nonce, transfer them to... I was about to say transfer them to Elendilling, but you know what? Just stay here, you'll give them to Durthu yourself directly. It's a little bit odd not to have Nath recruiting for us, but, you know. He can do so in a few more turns. Findal. What else can you build? We could build a couple more Wildwood Rangers. I don't know how well they do in... Oh, we only have 1 capacity for Sisters of the Thorn. I don't know how well they do in terms of auto-resolve. But there's certainly potential there. Yeah, let's get 2 more. And if we can get a little bit more capacity, we'll get some Wildwood Wardens and Eternal Wardens, sort of combine various infantry types together here. Maybe a few Treekin, a few Zoats, a few Cav, and we'll send them out. Not as a real army, because it's very similar to armies we already have, just we need islands. I feel like it'll be worth our time. Anyway, Datan. Huh. Is it possible for a ship to intercept you? I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. You can't go here, can you? Or here? Ah, you can't go there. Oh! I should have transferred your stuff first. Well, too late. Can you go here? Right to the edge of this? No, you can't travel quite as far. That's a shame. Alright, well, regardless of the attrition, then you're going to travel this way, and we're going to hope that there isn't another hidden Beastman stack running around. Morgar's already back because it's a Morgar, and he's recruiting already, so we gotta get to Montanas rather quick before he has a massive amount of units to help out with what he's already got there. We will also need to heal Datayan before we fight. Might actually be a toughie for him. Yeah, what can you do? Alright, Dave. You are going to destroy Karakazul. Sorry, Karakazul, you are currently at war with Rictus and Crooked Moon Mutinous Skits, who we are both at war with. They actually do like us, but once again, I don't want to ally with them if Imric is going to hate on us for it. And let's face it, the two don't like each other, so just kill them. Don't call your allies to help, it'll be a quick little raise or occupy and trade, depending. And, oh, maybe not so quick. I forgot that this army still doesn't have its dragon and therefore cannot go through the walls. You need to be level, what? 18? Ah, get you game. He's getting there, guys. He's getting there. Let's get your rally. We'll try to go for completing the red line, and then we will also want to get you Speed of the Hunter to make all those Wildwood Rangers that much faster. I think the Way Watchers at 68 speed are more than fast enough with the buffs that they currently have. Iskura, hit Chakwa, please. And occupied for us. On resolve. And occupy Heathland. Lovely. Well, Zanvil Smith, always a nice find. Opal Amulet you don't need, and we will immediately build the Foraging Groves. Gotta grow those Sacred Pools. They're gonna otherwise take quite a bit of time to grow. Good. Alright, Ziltathios doesn't need to move. Azerit, you're stuck where you are, at least until the hunt is in danger of ending. Sisters of Twilight. Did I move you this turn or last turn? Last turn. Guess what that means? You're gonna fight. Arrow of Kurnus for you, the Endless Hunters. I'm just gonna get this so I don't forget to do so. And Eye of Kurnus. And then you are gonna do the same thing. Arrows, Endless Eye. Lovely. Obviously this is not the, like, best army to do this, but you know what? We have the Sisters of the... Oh, whoa, no. I did not see that. Okay, never mind. You're going to go into Masterful Ambush, and you are going to sit right here. And we'll see. Let's allow these guys to fight each other rather than... I see why this guy didn't back off then. That would have been dangerous, because we could have suffered damage fighting at Hrothgar's Spire, and we still don't have the Sisters' troops as yet. Also, we don't have dragon capacity as yet, but we're working on it, guys. It's expensive and it takes many a turn. Azeroth is stuck, Sisters have moved, Dulcith I don't know who is, and I do know that you shouldn't be having one of these swords of anti-heroes on you. You're just sitting at the guy on Valia, that's fine, keep on doing that. Stressa doesn't need to move, and that looks to me like we can end the turn, which is great. And because it's further towards more rituals. I'm gonna assume that I did the diplomacy between the end turn, or between the episodes, but if I did, I probably did it last time, because I don't remember doing so right now. So we're just gonna end the turn. And we'll hope for the best. Because we're already prepared for the worst. Citra the Imperishable wants a peace treaty? No, sir. You've taken Orion's camp and you damn well will not be holding on to that. Alright, Draika's not... Harbinger of Disaster will attack the Knights of... I wasn't at war with you? Oh, my bad. Alright, enter war on side of ally, obviously. I didn't even realize I hadn't forgotten to declare war on Malagor. And what do we have here? Ally mobilizes, army receives plague, Durthu. Yeah, unfortunate, but hardly surprising. We lose... Ooh, the battle healing cap's not so great. Huh. And NURGLE will get to heal a lot more. Well, it'll make Durthu's fighting time a little bit more interesting, I guess. Right expires, Lari, maybe we can't use a new right. Kill it with fire, mission issued. Razor Sack Averheim. It's really... up on... It really wants us to go after Averheim. This isn't the first time. Hunting Hound for Katra. Sure, hold on to it. And there we go. Alrighty. Ooh, it does look like Vlad is beginning to reclaim territory, and I don't like that. We may have to send somebody out here. I don't want him to start destroying the Empire again. Empire, would you please? Would you please? It looks like Elspeth lost her main stack fighting Vlad again. She had a main stack and I think another half stack around here, and it doesn't appear to be there anymore. Carl, maybe you go help out. I guess he's re-recruiting after losing all of his stuff to something else. Man, I don't know what's up with the Empire AI or just with the Empire in general, but various recent campaigns have been getting absolutely destroyed by everything. And Gromby, you ran away rather than fight this? What a little coward. What is this? Gromby, you had a full stack. Alright, well, either way. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? I see Uzul Willmaker has run away, Gulator has moved in. I guess we'll occupy the Isle of Wight so that we have the... Can this place defend itself? Oh, well. Build the Ruined Dome stones, and what gives us the best... defenses? I think it's the Waystone, because it gives us 2 War Dancers and 2 Sisters of the Thorn. A lot of value there. And the other stuff that it gives us isn't great, though. Does this give us any money, out of curiosity? No, not directly. Bit of a shame. What does this give us again? Oh, 2 Wild Riders and 2 Deepwood Scouts, which is also solid. Glade Riders, Hawk Riders, Wildwood Rangers, Way Watchers. Yeah, I think this one's still the best, so we're gonna go with Waystone there. That'll be hopefully a decent set of defenders. Although, frankly, it's still not going to be a good set of defenders. We're probably still going to need to send a garbage stack out here to essentially sit around and protect it. It's unfortunate, but it is a faction-wide buff, so I guess we're gonna have to keep it. Anyway, Orion, hit that Isle of Wights, please. I think it was a non-built territory, yeah. So there's no need to do anything but occupy it. In fact, we can't do anything but occupy it. Go for the Ezra Lookout and the unfortunately useless Elven Haven. I feel like if it wasn't for the fact that it's a port, we'd just destroy it. But since it is a port, we need to have a port on this place. Nice little Wood Elven outpost. Deluric and Ellen Delling, I guess. You are both going to attack Philman Ingerson, and... I would wager that this is a battle worth fighting, yes? Yeah, they got defenders, they got some stuff. Let me just take a proper look at this. Go to Longship Graveyard. We can fight that. We'll still reinforce with Deluric, because we can move those Glade Riders into reinforce rather quickly. Alright, and Ellen Dilling, let's level you up for the fight here. Now, you have nothing in your red line. And thus, I guess that's what we're going to go for. Striking Branches, I believe, will buff our riders up. Unfortunately, it gives no missile damage. I really feel like they should relook at that, because Striking Branches gives speed and charge bonus, which doesn't benefit, well, at least the charge bonus doesn't really benefit the ranged units nearly as much. They're already very, very quick, so the speed isn't all that, and the charge bonus is not something we're making much use of with Glade Riders with Hagbane tips, or just ranged Glade Riders in general, or the Sisters of the Thorn. Who, well, to be fair, the Sisters are still a hybrid unit, but I still feel like they should double dip into the Bolts of the Forest, since they're ranged units. Yeah. Anyway, Striking Branches for you, and then we'll try to level them up. It'll be a while before they're rank 7, but that's fine. What about you two? You have Prey of Anathrema, and that's obviously the pick here, and then you have... I mean, we probably want to try to get towards Transformation of Kadon. Let's max out Flock of Doom, since we use it a lot, and then go into Evasion. And we're ready to fight. Go, go, go. Still Pyrrhic victory even with the arrival of the new guys? Lovely. Ah, I looked in the wrong place and I missed the speech, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Anyway, here we go. Massive pile of Norskins stand against us, and we Vanguard deployed on one flank in order to try to annoy them as much as we can. Gonna try to bring down that feral manticore before it charges us, but about half of our units will also target the enemy range cav. Nice little bit of a range cav shootout here. And they'll throw their axes, we'll throw our various types of arrows at them. And we got the poison coming in from the Glade Riders, the toxic venom coming in from the Sisters of the Thorn, and the dual shot arrows from our Hawk Riders as well. It looks like the enemy range cav are just about done for, or at least this unit is just about done for. And that, keep in mind, with about half of our units concentrating on that feral manticore, who has taken a fairly decent number of shots without dying. 30% missile resistance together on it. I guess without counting the Sisters of... No, actually, yes, counting the Sisters of the Thorn. For a second I thought they did magical damage, but apparently not. Anyway, with that, the Manticore will go down, and I believe both of the units of enemy cav have backed off, or have been forced away by virtue of them routing. That said, I'm sure they will come back. There are Norskins charging towards us. Taken many a hit, though it is primarily the Javelin Marauder Hunters that we gotta be wary of. Those guys will do massive amounts of damage if you let them, so we do gotta be careful. We'll Javelin them back, of course, with the Sisters of the Thorn, and they did have additional missile resistance when they activated their Shield of Thorns, but for now, it's time to move away. Looks like the enemy lord will attempt to give chase to us. He's only got 35 armor when it's reduced by various things, so if we pop Prey of Anathrema on him, we should be able to dish out heavy damage to him as well. If the enemy army has sent its lord, it most likely has been annoyed enough or sufficiently to charge us and attempt to catch us. Though, with mostly infantry remaining, I don't imagine that's going to be particularly effective. Our reinforcements have arrived on the field as well. Marauder horses charging towards our lord here. But they'll melt away rather quickly as Glade Guard and Deepwood Scouts move on to the field and snipe them fairly quickly. We also have a pile of Glade Riders who have caught and destroyed a single unit of Marauder Chariots, but that's a pretty bad matchup for said chariots. Enemy Lord did get caught by that Prey of Anathrema, and then will eventually be sniped by the... a little bit too late on that Arrow of Kurnus there, Elendelling. Will be sniped by the Hawk Riders, who will afterwards return to the fray and simply fire away at whatever other units they can. And they can fire while moving, so they can annoy the enemy as such. Otherwise, it's time for the Glade Riders to get to work. I do enjoy using this army as a sort of follower army, because this way we didn't have to delete the rather fragile Glade Riders, and can use them as reinforcements. Frankly, we'll probably just put a couple of Wild Riders and such to lead that reinforcement army, and it can essentially act as Elendelling's follower army forever, but also have enough units that if it were to face off against a minor settlement or something like that, it could still do its own work. Anyway, looks like a few or a decent pile of the enemy marauders are going to probably peel away towards our Glade Guard and Deepwood Scouts. Frankly, we probably don't need them to win this battle, but it will make it go by a little bit faster. We've already seen one battle when we fought Epidemius as to how it would look like if we used every single arrow we had, if we completely ran out of ammunition on our range cav. Alrighty, and the bounce power shifts to about 90% in our favor. The Glade Guard doing reasonably well as we repeatedly pop Shield of Thorns on them and combine that with the Vissen's Wild Form, making them not as fragile as the enemy might otherwise expect. I do still think the Glade Riders rather look pretty damn cool with this mod. It's a good job to them. Anyway, charge on through, send those knock those Marauder Hunters around. We've also sent in a few of our Sisters of the Thorn into the melee, and they're certainly doing decent work. Gotta remember that the Sisters of the Thorn, while a range unit, are a hybrid and will fight decently in melee as well. Anyway, looks like one or two enemy units are left alive, but regardless of whether they live, they will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Ooh, and some of those arrows will probably knock down a few of our own units, but I suppose that's the nature of the Wild Hunt, as the Wild Hunters will absolutely ride down other Wood Elves and such. Anybody that's in their path once the horn has been sounded. Obviously these aren't Wild Riders, but, well, everybody's joined the Wild Hunt when Orion is at the helm. I also really love watching the stag units just sort of run around and do their thing. Very entertaining. Anyway, we're going to chase down the enemy lord. It'll take a little bit of time to surround him and kill him, but we'll do it off screen. Alright, very nice indeed. A fun fight, and I'm still loving how different this army feels compared to the other ones. Although I suppose all of our armies are very different from each other right now, so it's pretty great. Anyway, 7.6k, huh? I wonder why Felman Ingerson was worth so much, and his place at about 4k. Not worth anything crazy, but we'll still raise it as I just don't want to hold more territory. I think we're good in that light. You two, okay, you don't need that enchanted shield, but we might turn it into something better. And Dilaric has Book of Assure. Oh, just got the Book of Assure. I was just like, where did you get that?
I share the forest's thoughts.
Ah. Go figure. Anyway, winds of magic powers are plus 28k. I think you don't need that. We'll probably give this to Ariel / Orion. Great Eagle for Ellen Delling. Hawk Companion for Val. Now, once again, on the caster. I've given those to casters. Forest Spirit, Royal Standard Bearer. Enemy killed in battle. Faction destroyed. Scaling. One less faction to be at war with, but what can you do? How many territories do the Thurl have? 2. Alright, not too many. I guess the question is going to be, do we want to focus them or do we want to go up here and destroy Bellicor instead, as in destroy his faction? I feel like it's probably more important that we deal with him. Not like the Tsar will ever become a true threat to us, and they're probably busy in a constant forever war against the Great Orthodoxy. Anyway, Dilaric, you're stuck then. Ara. We're supposed to get these guys all the way north. Wait. You're supposed to get them to the Sisters of Twilight, so go here, as far as you can. There you go. Might have to fight at Hrothgar's Spire. We still want to occupy it, but it would put us in range of an attack of, maybe not so much reprisal, but an attack of opportunity from Mr. We can reach you, can't we? I do like that. From Mr. Gromby. Durthu. Shadowed Stone Bay is the place for you to be today. Valiant defeat, you say, and that's what I like to see. What do we got in terms of line? I think it's time to go for red line for, well, you probably want the Amber Spear, don't you? Because we've got Oaken Hearts, so we do get it for cheap. And then same with Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. And Flock of... Wait, do we actually have anything that buffs Flock of Doom? No! All the other spells, but not Flock of Doom. The one that you're inclined to use the most, game. Come on now. I guess Amber Spear. We'll go through his casting line before we go through his red line. You guys replenish and growth for all provinces. I mean, this is all fine, but we're technically not going to be using Dryads anymore. You know what? Let's go for Ancient Attendant instead. Let's go for growth for all provinces faction-wide. Yeah, +8 isn't all that much, but well, the more Dryads we have, the more growth we have, the more money we have, etc, 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 etc. You, go to Durthu and transfer his new Treekin. Take one of the Dryads. We will either transfer those away or whatever. And you're going to get the Plague, but whatever. I guess you're not going to be bringing that back to Athel Loren for a bit. Anyway, we got time for another fight, so this is the fight that we will be anothering. Go. Alright, here we go. We may have dealt with the ogres, but we are not sending Durthu back, and quite yet to any other place. He can clear out Kugath's entire faction, so we don't have to worry about them A, impregnating us, or B, moving towards an undefended settlement. Alright, and away we go. Looks like the enemy will slow us down with the Curse of the Slug, but that hardly matters, and Durthu will continue leading his Treekin up into the enemy settlement. Of course, the unfortunate aspect of this particular army is that they can't bring down towers in any way other than capturing the enemy settlement, as we have no range and no air units to our name. But that's alright. I suppose if we ever get sufficient capacity, we could pop a few forest dragons into this army. Anyway, Durthu towering over the plague bearers here will get surrounded a little bit by some furies and get hit with a few of those special ammunition shots from the enemy exalted plague bearers. Now that said, this big old pile of Treekin should be pretty darn good at sieging an enemy, especially once blobbed up. Gotta remember, we have Shield of Thorns, we have Earthblood spam, and on top of all that we have the various aura buffs. Alright, nice. Wissen's Wild Form coming in. Debuffs from the Sword of Death and the Helm of Discord. And ooh, hello, it looks like the enemy has some Bile Trolls in here. I didn't even realize that. Well, good for them. As to what they'll achieve here, well, that remains to be seen. And we do, however, have to watch out for anything that the enemy has that will reduce our healing cap, as, well, it's certainly something that we need. I believe this might be a summoned... Is this a summoned guy? Yeah, it's a summoned Great Unclean One in the middle of our formation, as the Gate of NURGLE was used by the enemy cultists, wherever they may be in here. I do believe the enemy lord is attempting to go after Durthu, or at least as close to Durthu, so as soon as we've dealt enough with the enemy, we'll send Durthu after them. A little bit difficult to see what's going on and all those effects are going, but that's just the nature of a Death Star sort of formation. It'll probably get a little bit easier once we have some Treekin in this army, since they'll tower over the enemies in the way that Durthu does, and we'll be able to see them do their thing. For now, though, we'll have to content ourselves with watching Durthu swing the Sword of Death, and I hope nobody would complain about that, because it's endlessly entertaining. Alright, and of course we will send a few of our Dryads to join the fray as well. Now that the enemy is engaged, we do want our Dryads to join in and help out. Of course, the Dryads are going to be much more vulnerable to things like the enemy towers. And enemy spells and whatnot, but we'll see. And man, I didn't realize how many Beasts of NURGLE the enemy had. 1, 2, 3... Is there a fourth? Lots of Beasts of NURGLE. Is what I'm getting at. And of course the Bile Trolls, the Chaos Spawn, the Great Unclean One. Lots of single entities, which the Treekin would not be particularly good at dealing with. That's probably something we want the Tree Men to deal with, and that's why we really want to get capacity of them, so that we can pop them into this army. Alright, fortunately though, Durthu is perfectly adept at dishing it out. He's at 88 kills and 70,000 damage. Gotta remember that he has Flock of Doom, so whenever the enemy blobs up around our own blob, which all the enemies tend to do, as well as the Sword of Death, all that is plenty of damage. Great Unclean One still in the middle of the fray, however, it will run out of time and will simply disappear. No need to send Durthu after it when it doesn't do enough damage to destroy the Treekin, and Durthu has more important targets. He's been going after the enemy Lord, or at least trying to, as unfortunately the Beasts of NURGLE and those Rotflies have been blocking him. And I know it looks like this is sort of samey, but slowly but surely the enemy forces are dwindling. The balance of power shifts to about 70% in our favor. The enemy has lost nearly half of their number, and every time Durthu activates the Sword of Death and the Flock of Doom, they will lose more. Of course, just like us, the enemy has healing available to it. And so any sort of brawls with NURGLE are going to take a little bit longer than brawls with other factions. And now I believe the enemy, well, I was about to say Durthu has reached the enemy Lord. We are taking a little bit of damage on a few of our units. We can see our Treekin have all lost about maybe 30% of their HP. Could maybe use a few more of those Earthbloods to deal with it. We've also taken sufficient or heavy damage on several of our units of Dryads. Not so much to the enemy, I think, but a combination of the tower attacking them, as well as a... I don't remember the name of this spell, but the enemy had a bound ability that sort of created a circle on the ground that did damage to us. And the Dryads were unfortunately caught in it, but have now backed off. Alrighty, bounce power at about 85% in our favor now. Just stay a little bit longer. I'm also sure that the fire damage that everybody in our army has by virtue of Durthu holding that Banner of Eternal Flame is coming in handy as well. Gotta remember a lot of the enemies have weakness to fire damage due to their regenerative capabilities. And I was originally planning to take that Banner of Eternal Flame from Durthu and give it to Akka, but now I'm thinking I'm not so sure. Well, at least while we're fighting NURGLE, it would probably be pretty useful. Though, actually, now that I think about it, if I don't forget, we should lose that banner before fighting any Chaos Dwarfs, because giving ourselves fire damage is going to actually be severely detrimental against the faction that has massive amount of fire resistance all over the place. Alrighty, and I think that's the ability that was annoying us. What is it called? I don't see it. Probably in here somewhere. It's like a Skaven Clanstone, or at least it's probably just recycling the animation. Anyway, our non-hurt Dryads have replaced the severely damaged Dryads and are once more into the fray. The bounce power at about 90% in our favor now, and I'm willing to bet one more Flock of Doom and Sword of Death combination will probably carry the day. The enemy Lord has now been hit enough times by Durthu. Kind of hard to spot him in the middle of all this, but he is routing and attempting to escape. Oh, nice fiery glow from the Firebark Elders as well. There we go, nice whip against the enemy Lord. Who is, let's see, down, well, exhausted, broken, and attempting to escape. Bounce power probably shifting to about 95% in our favor. The Sword of Death activation happens once again. Durthu trying to use his mass to break through the enemy. The enemy's melting away right before him as he attempts to chase down the enemy Lord, who moves at 23 move speed. Durthu fortunately at 32, while the enemy is slowed down. A swing with the Sword of Death will not bring him down, but I think another one or two will. And there we go, the enemy Lord is crushed and won't be getting back up. His army will shatter, the demons will be banished, and the mortals will flee for their lives, though they cannot escape the wrath of the Chaos Gods, who are quite disappointed in them, and will send their souls into torment forevermore. Alright, a pretty fun fight. Durthu's Treekin, they actually did get fairly badly damaged in a few places. They didn't lose any units, but a lot of them dropped to about half HP there. Durthu, 217 kills, nearly 150,000 damage, once more doing lots of the damage for the entire army. Speaking of the army, I think I went a little bit overboard with the number of Treekin. What I wanted was essentially to have a unit of, well... I was thinking we'd have 1 unit of a Treekin per 1 unit of Treemen, but it'll be a little bit until we can get there. So you know what, just keep them as they are. Once again, Durthu doesn't buff Dryads, he only buffs Treekin and Treemen, which is why I want to replace them with the stuff that he buffs, since Drake is going Dryad. We will occupy this heathland, because it does belong to us. Dauntless, Forest Spirit, Young Stag, enemy killed in battle, ally mission successful, and settlement receives plague, but yeah, that was expected. And we do have... oh, this entire place is going to be all port, isn't it? That's not a bad idea. I suppose we can generate a decent amount of cash out of it. Anyway, Durthu, you are good. Starting to move through the red line. Still not yet. Let's get you another point in. I mean, he does use the Flock of Doom. But he also generally just casts Vissen's Wild Form and stuff. Let's get your Wild Heart. I still want to, if not max the tree out, at least get the stuff that he's going to be spamming a lot. Looks like Kugath has reacted to this and moved into March stance, presumably from the Dragonfang Mount all the way to Shattered Stone Isle, but I'd wager that he's not going to be able to defend it much better. And Drajoath the Ashen, that might actually be a pretty interesting matchup for Durthu, because he'll be spamming Flames of Asgore, which is his signature spell and he gets for cheap. And it is also an area of effect fire damage type deal. Minus the Firebark Elders, who probably won't care. The other Treekin well, take a bit of damage there. We shall see. For now, though, we have other things to do. Loren, still damaged, and there's a Scrag and a camp to wipe out, and we are kind of badly beat up. That said, we don't have time to fight this particular episode, so I guess we'll wait until the next one. Datan, you are able to reach Montanas, and... damn. Wait, Morgar built 11 units in a single turn. Well, ouch. Well, we had rushed over here specifically to prevent him from doing that, but he can build 11 units in a single turn. It's pretty ridiculous. But good for him, I guess. Anyway. Well, I guess, you know what, he's building it from his own horde plus the herdstone that he's at, so it does kind of make sense that he is able to do so, even if it is annoying for our particular purposes. But oh well. And, ooh, raises worth 6k? Yeah, we'll raise it. We'll raise it. Enemy Dryad, Karakazul destroyed. Enemy Dryad. I was saying two things and combine them into one thing, as I do. Karakate Peaks, next on the menu, and ooh, lots of defenders there, eh? I do like that. I imagine we won't be able to reach him in one go, though. You know what? March stance, we'll go right to the edge of this territory. Then, assuming that we won't be able to reach Karakate Peaks in one go, we'll encamp here and then we'll hit them right after, and then hopefully knock Wurzag's last territory out afterwards as well. Queek might be taking back some of the territories from Emmerich. I wonder if Emmerich has any of his special dragons with him. I guess we'll see. We also gotta watch out for Drajoath attacking the Fortress of Vorag and stuff like that. There is potential for that happening. Imric is kind of in a dangerous situation, kind of like Nagaryth, who used to own all of this back when we originally discovered their faction, and now they're very much on the back foot. We should probably try to prevent them from being destroyed. Unfortunately, this does mean that we probably won't be able to get any good units out of them because they've lost all of their elite stuff. Oh, speaking of good units, between the episodes last time, I started recruiting some Allegiance units. We got Reviv Crystals and Sisters of Athel Loren coming in here, so we'll be transferring them to various armies shortly. In fact, Reviv Crystals would probably make Durthu's army particularly ridiculous. There is also the possibility of putting them in Akka the Wandering Wield's army instead of Treemen. They're both decent options. We could also do both. which I'll think about. Anyway, I do believe, folks, unfortunately, we are more or less out of time here. At the very least, we don't have enough time to fight another battle. Hello, wait. Ah, you won't be in range this turn? Well, isn't that a shame? Anyway, we won't have enough time to fight another battle, so I guess I'm gonna call it here. I'll deal with whatever admin needs to be dealt with, and then next time we'll start off once again with whatever fights it is that we need to fight. So, calling it here. More Orion to come, at least for a while yet. I do believe next episode we should be able to pop the ritual at Athel Loren Forest, so that'll be more good battles, and we might start the episode with... Well, I guess we'll have to wait for Akka to come back, won't we? He's coming back in, what, 3 turns? 2 turns. Alright, because there is another forest encounter here, which he could fight with his new and improved beast army. And I'm pretty excited for that as well. Anyway, as I said, more to come. Stay tuned. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.